Perseverance. Can you persevere when it looks like everything is going to hell? Can you persevere when it looks like everything is going backwards? When it seems like everything that's happening is moving you away from what you want instead of towards what you want? Can you pick yourself up off the ground after you've been knocked down time and time again? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Have you been able to do that in the past when you've been knocked down? Or did you give up, change direction? Now, there's nothing wrong with adjusting your direction, but if you give up completely and start off on something new, most of the time you're copping out, you're giving up, you're quitting. Then you start off on that and you end up in the same situation you were in the previous goal. You have got to persevere. And how do you do that? Well, you start out small. When you're doing something and you don't think you can do it, you ask for help and you persevere until you get it done. No one becomes successful by themselves. The old adage, if you want it done right, do it yourself, has some truth to it. Like all lies, there is some truth there. But if you want to do it well, and you want to do it for more people and provide more service, you're going to have some help. And it's up to you if you know how to do that well, whatever it is you're pursuing, whatever it is you're providing, then you need to share that and pass it on to the people below you so they can learn how to do it better than you. If things weren't passed on to us by our previous forefathers, we would continue on in ignorance. Although sometimes I think we act pretty ignorant, repeating history over and over again. But we're in a constant state of expansion. And if you're not expanding, you're contracting. And if you quit and you give up and you stop, depression comes. Action is a cure for depression. Action in the direction of your goals, your dreams, your vision, your purpose. Action. We are physical, emotional, spiritual, mental beings. You have to address every aspect of yourself. And if you're sitting in front of the Xbox all day or on your phone all day, you're not physically, addressing the physicalness of your body. You need to get out there and do some work, or work out, or run, or do something. Your body needs to move. The people who have lived the longest stay very active. When people retire, many times they die within a year of retirement because they're not of service anymore. People who live off the government, people who live off of other people, who don't provide service. Now, I'm not talking about people who can't do anything because they are truly disabled, but I'm talking about people who could provide a service. There are two people that work up at Walmart up here that I've seen. Neither one of them can walk, and they're working. I would say they probably know the value of service in respects to how it makes them feel fulfilled. Sure, they could sit at home, watch TV, play games. I've said this before, and maybe some of you won't agree with me, but I would much rather go out during the week and provide service for $5,000 a week rather than sit at home and just have someone bring me a check for $5,000. Now, some of you may think, oh, I'll just take the easy money. That's misery. That is depression. But we grow up believing that money is going to make us happy, that money is going to solve our problems, that money is going to make us feel fulfilled. Now, I like money as much as anybody, maybe more than a lot of people. But I've had a lot of money and I've had no money. And it does not make any difference to my level of fulfillment or happiness. As long as my basic needs are met. Obviously, if I'm out in the rain and cold and I have no roof over my head, pretty hard to feel fulfilled and happy there. But I'm talking about after your basic needs are met. And am I striving for more money and some extravagant things? Of course I am. Because as I said, we have to be, as men, in a constant state of expansion. Otherwise, you're in contraction, which, again, leads to depression. And we have so many people depressed because we have such an easy, comfortable life in the West. We have women complaining about oppression. We have men, or young men in college, acting like everything is just so difficult here in the U.S. You don't know what oppression is until you've lived in other countries. Discrimination, they have open discrimination in other countries. I've experienced it. The U.S. is one of the best places in the world to live. But if you've never been out of the country, if you've never lived in a foreign country, you have nothing to compare it to. It's all relative to what you're used to. If you grew up in a neighborhood with $500,000, $1 million homes, manicured yards, you sit in the house all day. If you call the police, they're there in a couple minutes. You don't know what the rest of the world's like. Because the rest of the world, 80% of the world, is not like that. And you need to experience that to get a wider view, to broaden your horizons. Otherwise, you think you're oppressed because the guy at the McDonald's didn't serve you the ice cream when it was your turn in line or whatever. People are so offended and so easily hurt because they've grown up in such a soft society. Comfortable, pleasurable. We seek one pleasure after another. Now, I'm all for pleasure, but there's a verse in the Bible, and I'm not a Bible thumper, and it says, "He who loves pleasure will suffer want." Pleasure has its place, but everything in moderation. But to have a truly fulfilling life as a man, you have to have goals. You have to be in adversity. You have to have challenges set before you. You have to face these challenges and overcome these challenges. And therein lies the problem in the West. Everything is too easy. And unless you're a man of, interior motivation, you will not present yourself with challenges because you have to create them because everything is so laid out for you easy. Do you think that people back in the West in the 1800s got depressed? No, they had to get up in the morning, go cut wood, milk the cows, be worried about Indians just to survive each day. And I'll bet you they were happier than a lot of you guys were because they felt fulfilled at the end of the day. So find something that challenges you, that you have to persevere in, that you have to struggle in. And as a man, when you achieve whatever it is you set before yourself and overcome it, you will have a feeling of fulfillment that you're not going to get out of any drug, any alcohol, cigarettes, vape, whatever, sex, any of that. Sex is good, don't get me wrong. I like that as much as anybody, but it's not the same for you as a man. You have to have something that makes you persevere, that knocks your butt down, and you get back up and you press on, even when it feels like you're never going to make it. And when you do make it, it's awesome. And then after that, you set another challenge before you. And that's how you as a man become fulfilled. If you're not striving, if you're not arriving, you're going to be depressed. So get up, set yourself a challenge, write down a goal for yourself, something that you're not sure you can achieve, and then set out in the direction of that goal. But expect delays, expect denials, expect disappointments, expect little victories, expect the eventual victory at the end. And you will achieve it. And you'll experience what I'm talking to you about. And if you've never experienced that fulfillment, hope you do, because that's what life is all about. Take care. If you'd like to get my help personally, contact me at my email or my website, MarksInspiration.com. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Rumble at Marks Inspiration. If you're watching this on Instagram, YouTube, Mark Daniels, Marks Inspiration. Take care.